So what have we learnt from this weekend's exciting instalment of Autumn Internationals? And I thought you were going to score.
Ask a better question, you get a better answer.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm going to present 5 things that I took away from these Autumn Internationals this weekend. Lots of talking points. I couldn't do all the match reports I wanted, but I watched all the games. I'm going to talk about some of them now. Hopefully I got a bit of a conversation with Zach from Hacker Time as well coming up. We'll talk about it a bit more. First of all, I did get an email this morning, just as a favour from a viewer, John, who works for Tottenham Hotspur, said, can you let the viewers know about some 50% tickets for the game of the Barbarians against the New Zealand 15 at Tottenham Hotspur? There's tickets going. Just a favour for him, it's not linked to me in any way at all. I'll put the link up on the side and down below. If you want to go to an exciting Tri-Fest at a really cool stadium, get involved in that game, have a look. Okay, let's get into this. Number 1, the thing that I took away is this is absolutely the most competitive period of professional international rugby. We said that after the Rugby Championship that maybe that was the case. I think we've got it confirmed today. I mean, France-Australia was so close. South Africa, Ireland close. England-Argentina close. Fiji showed some good signs against Scotland and more time. Fiji staying together. They've got their Super Rugby team now, so that's going to really help. They'll get even closer. The only one that was a long way off was Wales, and that was against the Rugby Championship champions, New Zealand, so fair enough maybe. But it's so close and it just keeps hotting up that World Cup. So it's got to be a good thing. In previous years, we've been whinging about gaps in rugby and competitiveness. We've got it now, so I think we need to be thankful. Now, number 2 is a really interesting one raised by some of my commenters from South Africa, suggesting maybe the South African coaching philosophy is stuck in the past a bit. And don't worry, we'll come to England, they're not exempt. Now, for South Africa, one of their big problems was their goal kicking, and you could argue if they'd had better kickers, they could have won the match. We never know, but that could be the case. But is their actual attacking game plan still stuck in the past? It's a really interesting one. I'm 50-50 on this. Plenty of you guys say that's the way South Africa play. Look at the success they've had, won the World Cup, etc. Just keep on doing it. Some say our players just aren't suited to that, and I'm not convinced by that at all. I think some of the big forwards are actually the best offloaders going. I always talk about Etzebeth and Diaga's offloads and that sort of stuff. And I think there's some really skillful players in the back line. If you use Leroux, Willemse maybe properly, I think South Africa could step it up a bit in certain areas of the pitch, do their traditional game for a lot of it, and then have a licence, say from halfway to the 22 where they can really cut loose a bit. But it's an interesting one. Are they stuck in the past, or do they need to evolve, or do they just need to keep going what they're going, improve their kicking discipline or whatever it is? So that's an interesting one. Okay, point number 3 for me is the Six Nations sides definitely looked like it was their first game of an international season. Definitely very rusty. It's not an excuse, just was the case. I mean, Ireland are normally super slick, but I mean, they looked a bit clunky, to be honest. Great heart, but very clunky. England looked all over the place, to be honest. Scotland in patches looked okay, but although they had played the week before, of course, but definitely I'd expect the likes of France and Ireland to get a lot closer to their super slick selves. So I think the games later in this series could be the best yet. Now, number 4, I said we'd get to England. Are there real signs now that Eddie Jones is kind of losing it a bit, losing the grip on what he's trying to do? I mean, let's say it how it is. Eddie Jones has got an unwavering belief in himself and believing that he's right and everyone else is wrong, which is great when you are right. But of course, the odds are a lot of the time you need to listen to the coaches around you, whatever it is. And are we seeing the inevitable demise of all autocratic regimes where his decisions to play the likes of Youngs, Billy, Smith, Farrell, the clunky attacking system, is it all falling apart? Is it going to survive to the World Cup? It's definitely a big conversation to be had in the RFU. Let's see, obviously, how the autumn goes. But I just don't think any other coaching regime would do this, just stick at these really poor decisions, I would say. I mean, Ian Foster copped a lot of flack for New Zealand for his poor start, but goodness me, he could adapt, he could change, he could see the problems, and they've fixed them, it looks like. So that is something I don't know if Eddie Jones is capable of. Let me know what you think. We'll see, obviously, make a real judgment on that after the Autumn Internationals, but the signs are growing. And number 5, for Wales. Now, Wales did some good stuff, certainly in their game against New Zealand, scored some good tries, but is their pack falling behind a little bit? Yep, they were up against the Rugby Championship champions in New Zealand, who are on and up, but are they going to struggle with powerful packs in the future? Are they on a little bit of a decline? Are there some new players that need to come into that pack and really revamp them? Okay guys, those are my 5 takeaways from those autumn internationals. Let me know what your takeaways were. There's plenty more, I'm sure. And like I said, favour to John there, who works for Tottenham Hotspur. If you want to get cheap tickets for the Barbarians versus the New Zealand 15, get in the link below. That could be a lot of fun. And I'll catch you guys next time.